I went out to the beach on Friday rather, New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. I drove out in the morning. I drove back in the afternoon. I went out to see what was going on, to see what I needed to do with the house and so on and so forth. And I drove back, and I got a ticket. I got a ticket on Route 16, if anybody's familiar with Route 16.
Sure.
I got a ticket on Route 16. I had just gone through the second little town. There's two little towns when you get out of the beach where you have to go 25 miles an hour or less. And then I made a right on 16. So I'm heading essentially
back to 404.
Southwest, right, 16, cutting across to get to 404.
Right.
Okay, right outside of Denton.
Right.
And for those of you who don't know about this road, it is a one-lane road on each side, but it's a very wide one-lane road.
Right.
It's a very flat one-lane road. It has some sway to it, but it's a lovely road to drive on. I was driving west, as I say, and a Maryland state trooper, I had just crossed the line between Delaware and Maryland, and a Maryland state trooper was coming the other way, and with radar, I guess you can do this, even though you're traveling. I guess I'm not gonna suggest that the radar isn't sophisticated enough. But he then turned around and put on his lights, and I knew that I was done. And he said, "You were going 73 and 50 miles on."
Oh.
Okay. Well, okay.
Leadfoot.
Now
That's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back over this. Now, here's what I did. I handed him my license. I handed him my registration. I said nothing. He said you were doing this. I said I know I was going fast. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't say, do you know who I am? I didn't do any of that. I didn't try to say, what do you got? Nothing else to do? No, I said
I'm Mo Green. None of that.
I said nothing. He handed me a ticket. Ticket's $160.
Wow.
It's a lot of money, and it's points on a license. Now, on the ticket, it says that I could just plead guilty and mail it in. I could ask for a trial, and I don't want to go to Caroline County with a trial. I don't want to do it.
Sure.
Or I could plead guilty with an explanation and throw myself at the mercy of the court. And here's what I would have said. Had I said anything to him, and here's what I would say now. And feel free to say, that's fine, but you're guilty, because I understand.
Sure.
I may not have been going 73, but I certainly was exceeding the speed limit.
Right.
I was all alone on this road. There was nobody on this road on either side. I mean, I'd gone 4 or 5 miles. He's the only person I saw.
Right.
It was daylight. It is a lovely road to drive, and I'm driving a high-performance car, Cadillac CTS, a high-performance car. Nobody, not even myself, at 73. I mean, these cars at 70, you don't even feel it.
Right.
Nobody is endangered. I'm not drinking. I'm not texting. I'm not doing any of that.
You're driving your car.
I'm probably not even listening to the radio. What I'm probably doing is sort of thinking to myself what I'm going to say when I get home to whoever is going to start yelling at me. Because my house is filled with people who yell at me all the time. All right? And so my only explanation would be there was nobody on the road, nobody, and I got a good car. I got a good car, and I'm not even pumping it. I'm not going 90. I'm not doing that. There's no
You're in cruise.
Yeah. So what do I do, Liz?
That's not the way to go. I mean,
just pay the ticket.
I like that option of guilty with an explanation.
What's my
I think it is
explanation?
worth a letter, but I would take the total contrition tack, not the blaming my high performance vehicle
what the guy said
and the
to me
smoothness
afterwards,
of the road.
He just said, "Slow down." I said, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean, what I would do is say, I acknowledge, I'm sure I was speeding. It was a
lovely day.
No, don't start blaming the elements. Your case is only winning if you take responsibility, if you show awareness of what you've done. If
Then
you
I
don't,
know that
it's
there's
not
no jokes
circumstantial.
involved with guns.
No, just say, I was daydreaming. It was my fault. I respect that, this part of Maryland and the people who live there. I surely did not want to endanger anyone. I don't feel that I was going over 70, but I am quite sure I was speeding. And I will be much more mindful in the future. And any leniency you can show me, I would appreciate. But I surely
really
have learned
sweet.
my lesson.
What would you do, David?
I get a lawyer.
Oh!
That's me. That's what I would do.
I mean,
You mean on principle or because you think you really
I gotta
could?
get those points taken care of.
I really don't want the points.
Well, yeah.
You get it knocked down to careless driving, and it sounds like I might have some
one
experience
point.
in this, and I'm not saying anything more.
Well, so because 2 points. What? How many
I think
points?
eight's the magic number.
But see, I drive to Delaware a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You want to get those
You
points.
don't want the points, but
I wanna
my
knock down a
approach, he
point
could
or two.
still knock off the points.
You think so? If
I just think you are a wordsmith, and
Yeah.
you are not. Everybody could write an artful letter, but you could.
No, you could write an article.
You could.
I
Give
like
it a
your
shot.
letter better than
Give
mine.
it a shot.
There are people that you can hire for several $100s
I
an
don't
hour
want
who
to.
will do this for
Right,
you
I don't want to.
and get those points taken care of.
I could I could get Gilbert Arenas' lawyer because he
That's right, he
seems to know
seems
how to
pretty
write a
good.
good statement. But I probably should write it myself. But the other part of me was, what possible explanation? I did it. I did it. You know what? I'm not sure. There have been many times when I think I have been singled out to get tickets. For example, there's 4 people going the same speed limit, and maybe because I have DC plates and I'm in a different jurisdiction.
You're
that I've been
complaining of
singled out.
having been profiled.
Yeah. But
You've been automobile
okay,
profiled?
but having said that, I've never been given a ticket that I didn't do what they said. So I'm not one of those who
Yeah.
screams. I'm not saying I wasn't speeding. I was.
Right,
I was speeding. But it's a really
I just think
nice car.
apportioning blame is not the way to go.
Just to say I'm sorry and
I'm sorry. I was, preoccupied with
leniency.
personal affairs, and that was my mistake.
Right,
It's
I
not
didn't
going to happen
realize.
again.
I didn't realize I was going that fast because that car is so smooth
Yeah,
on that road.
I'd double your fine.
No, I won't. That would be my only. That would have been on the spot. My only explanation.
I hired Joe Jacoby and Chris Myers. I understand they have a law firm that's doing pretty well.
Just, it's not. Yeah, you think it's.
Got to get those points off.
David's
Tom.
probably right.
Got to get the points taken
but
off.
I
Points are
have a
bad.
lot of faith in your pros.
Points add up.
I really do.
perhaps.
Look at this as the column you've been waiting to write.
Here comes Tony's mailbag. Gonna read some for all you folks.
Thank you, Gary. Josh Cromwell, Moselle, Mississippi. Satchmo, did the police car that pulled you over have a license plate with 4 soccer on it? No, it didn't. Tom Pfaff, Montgomery, Texas. You should send the ticket in with the explanation that you had to make it to Joseph A. Bank for the 3 suits for the price of 1. Phil Yabbitt in Arlington, Virginia. You think you were profiled? What's this, DWO driving while orange? And if an old, bald orange guy in a high-performance vehicle were speeding on an open road, but no one was around to see it except maybe the Maryland State Police, did it really happen? I was speeding. I concede that I was speeding, but I like Liz's idea to write a nice letter. Though David is pressing his idea to just hire somebody to get rid
Pick
of
up the
points.
phone.
You're out on your bike tonight, everybody. As always, do wear white.